Talking with John Madden, who's here today, who was 10 years the highly successful coach of the Raiders. He was saying the thing that's always impressed him most about Ken Stabler, he was the same on Wednesday at practice as he was in a Super Bowl. Didn't make any difference.
I think the only time you can see the change in Kenny is when you make him mad. If somebody gets a good lick on Kenny, watch for him to come back and do something damaging. And I think it happened last week when they beat New Orleans. They got him on the deck, and they got the redneck moving, and he has been consistently outstanding since that time. And I really think that he knows right now Cleveland has the capability of coming back. And if they don't put more points on the board, this game can go both ways.
Well, Madden was saying you can see quarterbacks across the way a lot of times screaming and yelling, and what are we going to do now? And he says Stabler will come over, and sometimes you look up on the stands, you're ready to go into overtime. He said, well, you know, John, they're really getting their money's worth today, aren't they?
And I think he loves that. He loves to be in control of a volatile situation. And quarterbacks, I think, have that innate quality that if they really like to play, when everything around them is chaotic, they love to make some little trite comment that kind of puts the whole thing into perspective. Brian Sipes the same way. Their personalities lend them to be great quarterbacks.
Well, be assured of that. If you haven't had a look at the Browns much this year, they're not done yet, because this is a team that sometimes they don't get going till the last 5 minutes.
Well, when they've thrown the ball, and when Sipes thrown it well, the receivers have dropped it. When he's thrown it a little poorly, they were open. Things have not gone cohesively for the Browns yet, but they get the ball first in the second half. I still look for a tight ball game. Brian Sipes has had too great a year for them not to put some points on the board.
Well, we shall see. They're ready to go. Here we are with the Cleveland Browns ready to go. They'll be receiving. Jim Breach will be kicking it off for the Oakland Raiders. Ray Guy's had a little problem with his knee on the kickoff, so Breach, he doesn't kick it too deep, though. He sends a spinner downfield. It goes out of bounds, so he will try to do it all over again. 5-yard penalty. That'll set the ball back to the Oakland 30-yard line. 13-0 is the score. Oakland Raiders moved out very quickly. First and only touchdown of the game came in a spectacular play on Oakland's first possession when Stabler threw a 39-yard strike into the end zone to a diving Cliff Branch. Arthur Whittington, the game's leading rusher, with 53 yards in the first half. Pruitt has 31 for the Browns. Brian Sipe completed 7 of 14 for 83 yards, but perhaps the most important statistic from a passing standpoint were the times he didn't get it away. He was sacked 5 times.
I think you hit it, and that's the problem Cleveland has to deal with. They have got to find a way to handle Oakland's 4-man defensive line. It's all to the offensive line.
Dino Hall on the one hop. Look at this little guy go. He almost broke it. Dino Hall takes it across the 30, out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Here's a breakdown, John, of how the first half statistics looked. The Oakland Raiders dominating the football game.
You bet. 80 yards rushing is a lot of yards for the Oakland offense to really be able to generate running the football. It hasn't been their personality. They've done it very well today.
That's the truth. Oakland has not generated the good rush, averaging only 3.6 yards a carry on offense throughout the season, while giving up on the average of 4.4, but that's not been the case today. Mike Pruitt and Cleo Miller are the setbacks behind Brian Sipe. Reggie Rucker goes in motion. They go to the fullback. On a counter play, he comes right back out across the 40. And Mike Pruitt drives the ball out close to the 44. And a 1st and 10 carry, he got about 7. Monty Johnson, the big veteran linebacker from Nebraska, number 58, knocked him down. Johnson comes out of the game. Villapiano goes in. Our statistician, Joe Costanza, points out that Mike Pruitt has now rushed for 1,093 yards. That's the most for a Cleveland back since 1968. And the great Leroy Kelly rushed for 1,239. Second down and a long 2. They go up the middle. They're going to a little more quickness now as they have Dino Hall in the backfield. He's knocked down by Reggie Kinlaw, 62. Kinlaw's been a surprise for the Raiders. Out of Oklahoma, he wasn't drafted till the 12th round. But he looks like a frontline NFL player, has been playing more and more.
You almost get the feeling that Cleveland's way of handling the 4-down linemen for Oakland is to let's go right at them. Let's get them a little concerned with us running the football so they don't get in their starting blocks and come after Sipe. It's worked effectively on the first 2 times they've had the ball. We'll have to see down the line.
We shall see as it's 1st and 10 now for the Browns. They need points badly, trailing 13-0 early in the 3rd quarter. Big play by Rod Martin. He's made 3 of them now in this game. He had a sack, now this tackle for a loss, and you recall the pass play he broke up and very nearly intercepted. Linebacker from Southern California. One pro scout said there's only 2 teams in football that have better players in Southern California, the Cowboys and the Steelers.
I think Ohio State would take exception to that.
That'll be some game on New Year's Day.
You got it.
And of course, we'll be at the Orange Bowl, where there's another good one. Billy Sims and the Sooners of Oklahoma going against Florida State New Year's Day night, 8 o'clock Eastern start. Florida State and Oklahoma. Sipe steps in, lets her go long, and Ozzie Newsome is intercepted by Charles Phillips. Another Southern California player. He loves to have the football, puts his stutter step on, and brings the ball out to midfield. So Ozzie Newsome, the ace receiver for the Browns, they finally go to him long, but Charles Phillips, who's been shading him all day, who's been on him like a glove, steps in front and intercepts.
Well, Charles Phillips was actually in another zone. It was one of those zones. Oakland plays a lot of different types of zones. They're putting a linebacker man-to-man generally on anybody going down the middle of the field. Now you can see man-to-man. They've got Mike Davis trying to cover Ozzie Newsome. The ball's thrown behind him. Phillips comes from clear over on the left third of the field, picks the ball off, and watch the end of this. Boy, does a defensive back like to make that kind of move on an offensive back.
So the Raiders get the big defensive play, and here's Stabler on first down looking to capitalize. He can just stand there and take a look at everybody out there. Casper gets it on the one hop. Bob Hope's Merry All-Star Christmas Special this Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I was with Bob yesterday, and it stars a lot of great people. Catherine Crosby will be on there, Angie Dickinson, Adam Rich will be on, Bonnie Franklin, the Rose Queen, and of course the 1979 College Football All-America team led by Heisman Trophy winner Charles White of USC and Billy Sims of Oklahoma. That's all this Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The Bob Hope Christmas Special, annually one of America's most popular television shows. On a 2nd down and 10 carry, the Raiders go to the run down to the 47-yard line. Number 22, Arthur Whittington, is up.
Don, they've been in very few 3rd and 9 situations today. They've been able to move the ball on first down, which on the other side of the coin, Cleveland has not been able to move it very well on first down. It's been the key to their being able to go up and down the field. This is a 3rd and long. It's a tough situation.
They need a big play here. Cleveland needs one too. The Browns need to get back to football. 3rd quarter, 11:55 to play in it. 13-0 Oakland. That's how it stood at the half. Stabler dropping to throw. Looks and fires to Cliff Branch, and the Cleveland defense is there, and it's good. The gain was only 3 yards to the 45-yard line. Oh, watch Cliff Branch on an isolated replay.
Now, people will say, why didn't he get it farther down the field? He didn't have enough to pick up the first down. But this is a little delay pattern. They hope they can catch the linebackers going into their drop, cut underneath them. Robert Jackson was too quick to react to allow that to happen. You can see he smothers Branch for a 4-yard gain. Punt number 1, Donnie.
Yes, sir. Ray Guy is in there now. Having another big year booting the ball. He always does. Ray Guy averaging per punt 43 yards. The 42.9. He can hit that 9-iron shot way up and angles it out of bounds right about the 20. Ray Guy, coming off the field, is a sensational athlete. He was a great defensive back in Mississippi State. All-American baseball player, drafted by the major leagues. He could play a lot of positions if they need be.
Mom, we got a present for you.
Points.
First down, they've lost yardage on 6 different occasions. They've got to make first down count.
That's been a big factor. They've not gotten a play on first down. You need to set up your offense. This time they do. It's a foot race, and Pruitt's going to win it. Mike Pruitt is gone. They're gaining, but Mike Pruitt's into the end zone standing up. So he wins the Olympic sprint. A quick hitter. They broke the crust, and Mike Pruitt at 227 pounds goes 77 yards and outruns everybody on the football field.
Don, we were discussing earlier the reason that Mike Pruitt has gained over 1,000 yards. Now Art's explaining how he did it, but the problem that Oakland has is that, number 1, they've been in so many different defenses. You have to leave yourself vulnerable on occasion. It was a blitz defense. Once the back gets past the line of scrimmage, at the point of attack, he was gone. Once there was a hole right over between center and guard, no one was in a position to get him.
That's the longest run of his professional career. Mike Pruitt. He had a 71-yarder for a touchdown back in '78 last year. Did that against Buffalo. Now the extra point is up and good, so all of a sudden the Browns are in the football game as we expected they would be. Let's watch it again. Mike Pruitt, the distance.
Discussed earlier, Don, what happens at the point of attack? He found a hole. If that happens, only one mistake needs to take place. They're trying to get to Sipe on first down. They thought he'd throw the ball. Now these guys are running a futile foot race. Pruitt, 77 yards for a touchdown. That's about all you can ask of a man. 13-7, Oakland over Cleveland.
Has just taken the ball the distance from scrimmage, 77 yards. Now the Browns lining up. What will this kickoff be? They're going to kick it high. Raiders looking for an onside kick. It's a 13-7 game, Oakland. Here comes Ira Matthews weaving and dancing, but the Browns hem him in, hold their lanes on kick coverage, and knock him down at the 28-yard line. So, John, it is a game indeed with 10:41 to play in the third quarter. Oakland with the football, but leading now by only 6.
Well, I'll tell you, Oakland knows it better than anyone. Stabler knows this score could have been 24, 27-0 at halftime. They got out 13-0 lead. The other team has the feeling, you know, sometime during the course of the afternoon, things are going to come our way. It happened early in the third quarter, and this ball game's back in the half.
Up for grabs. Here comes Stabler, setting his team down. Like Waylon Jennings with a football helmet on. Hands the ball off to Arthur Whittington, who hits to the 30 for a 2 or 3 yard gain. That'll pick up the Browns defense, no doubt.
Waylon Jennings pretty good at what he does, too.
I guess. Mike Pruitt now has 6 100-yard rushing games this season. His best effort of the day, 173 yards. 6 in his career, 173 yards against Buffalo back in '78. Had the other 5 this season. Jackson in the lineup. 2nd and 8. Stabler stands in, and again he has a lot of time. Goes high. Oh, it's so nearly intercepted. Ron Bolton, 28, came over, had a play on the ball. It was off the fingertips of David Casper. It'll be 3rd down and 8 for Oakland.
Tom Darden thought he might get a piece of that ball. When it's thrown in the middle, Darden gets a piece of a lot of them. They haven't thrown it in there very often for that reason. They've been fortunate going to the outsides. It's tightening down a little bit.
Stabler has put the ball up in the game 18 times. He's hit 12 for 108 yards and 1 touchdown, the 39-yarder to Cliff Branch. For the season, Stabler has a 60% completion mark. 3rd down, and here's the rush. He stands in, he lets a rip, he hits his man. Derek Ramsey hasn't. He's got a first down. He's down to the 40-yard line. On 3rd down and 8, Ramsey got downfield just where he had to go to the 40 of Oakland, made the reception, 10-yard gain, first down Raiders.
Credit the offensive line with giving Stabler enough time. He wanted to go to Casper to come off his primary receiver and find Ramsey in the middle all along.
Now David Casper comes out of the game. He's playing with a bad back, but you never know it. And Raymond Chester goes in. He's playing with a bad knee. He comes in with 53 receptions. Raymond Chester set to the right. Here's a handoff. Van Egan runs the ball. Mickey Sims, the big middle guard. Number 78, a 275-pounder from South Carolina State. Makes the knockdown. So with no gain on the play, it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Oakland.
Oakland went to their strength, what people have considered their strength for years, Shell and Upshaw over the left side. You can see Cleveland's defense has tightened up in the second half. On 2 first down occasions, the Raiders have tried to run the ball, have come up with nothing.
2nd down and 10. Oakland Raiders. They lead the game 13-7. Clock running. 8:40 to play in the third quarter. Stabler standing in. Here's the rush. He gets it away, and he hits his man, Raymond Chester, and he's going to be close to a first down. Clay Matthews was covering, but Chester going downfield, turns in at the first down marker, makes the grab. Chester now in his 10th year for Morgan State, a #1 draft choice of Oakland. And you recall he went to the Baltimore Colts for a few years, back to Oakland.
And that's what you call sucking it up. Everybody on the club knows he's got a bad leg. He probably shouldn't be playing, but he had to give Casper a rest at some time during the game. It was a perfect time.
So the Raiders do indeed get the first down. 1st and 10 for Oakland, 49-yard line of Cleveland. Stabler second back through. Whittington, Robert Jackson, 56 is there to hit. Charlie Hall, Dick Ambrose, Robert Jackson, and Clay Matthews across the linebacking front of the Cleveland Browns. Jack Gregory is playing the right defensive end. Lyle Alzato's at the left, and Mickey Sims is in the middle in the 3-4 defense.
Jack Gregory's another one of those fellas, Don, that when he hits you, you know who it is. I mentioned it. There's an Elvin Bethea. There was a Rich Jackson. This guy's got the same sort of strength when he hits you.
Stabler, deep drop, 2nd and 9. Throws is coming in low. One hopper to David Casper. It'll be 3rd down and 9 for the Raiders. So look at Casper run his route.
Well, Casper has actually played outside a few times. Now, what they're doing is they're giving the cornerbacks a little help to the outside, and when they do so, they've got to come into the middle. Now, Stabler expected somebody wide to be open. He wasn't. By the time he came to Casper, he didn't have any time.
Casper knows the playbook, too. He was a Dean's List student for 4 years at Notre Dame.
You don't have to be on the Dean's List to know the plays in this game. It's not that complicated.
Here's Stabler throwing it on the ground. Derek Ramsey catches the ball. So the Raiders get a lucky one, or was it? Derek Ramsey on the turf, leaned up and caught the ball.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if they had a go at it. It's 4th down, just a little over a yard to go.
Yep, they're sending out Ray Guy. With the trick plays we've had in this league this year, you don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't really mean much, does it?
Seattle, they're liable to throw anything at you. Knuckleballs, onside kicks. They'll be coming here to Oakland next week. They're not going to be in the playoffs, the Seahawks, but they're going to decide some other teams that are going to be. Here is a line drive kick taken by Dino Hall inside his 10. Return right. Dino Hall is upfield and gets to the 20, and the Browns go back on offense. 1st and 10. NBC Sports World on 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Salute to the champions of '79. We'll review the many magic moments with an exciting look at the year's major events, from Swan Super Bowl to Star Jewel Series and more. Don't miss Sports Year '79, a salute to the champions, Saturday, December 22nd on NBC Sports World. It's 1st and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. The ball at the 20-yard line. Cleveland, you'll remember, scored on a 77-yard run by Mike Pruitt last time they had it, and they're back in the game, trailing 13-7. Here comes Pruitt again. The Raider defensive secondary was up playing the run. They were coming on blitzes, doing a lot of tricky things to throw Sipe off. When they had everybody up, though, the Cleveland Browns broke at the line of scrimmage. A great block by DeLeon in the center, and it was a touchdown run of 77 yards, and I think the Raiders are a little more cautious now.
All you have to do is break one, and you get the other defense to start checking their hole card, and you don't feel as good about it once they beat you.
2nd down and 6 now for Cleveland. Temperature about 60 degrees. Perfect day. Going up back to the money. Going to Mike Pruitt. He takes it out to the 25-yard line on a 2nd down and 6. He only got about a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and 5. Dave Browning, a 2nd-year defensive end, 73 from the University of Washington, was on the stop for the Raiders. And the clock runs down to 5:47 before Pruitt went out of bounds. They criticized Mike Pruitt for fumbling, but the statistics show that he's fumbled only once every 53 carries in his career. Tony Dorsett of the Cowboys has fumbled once every 24 carries. Earl Campbell's fumbled once every 33 carries. Then you have Franco Harris. He fumbles once every 77 carries.
Where'd you get all that?
Gets a lot of yards on the other 76. Dropping the throw is Brian Sipe. Trying to make a living at this business, John. I check all that out. And getting out of bounds is Brian Sipe. It looks like he's got a 1st down for Cleveland.
Hey, Brian checked it all out. That was a beautiful play. He waited to the last possible second to make a decision. He had to pick up 5 yards. He was able to do so.
We'd now like to welcome our viewers in the great city of Los Angeles, California. As here at Oakland, California, you see the Raiders in the lead 13-7. This is Don Criqui with John Brody. Oakland had a 13-0 lead at the half. The Browns just got the big play on their last possession. Their big back, Mike Pruitt, ran 77 yards from scrimmage untouched. A quick trap block sprung him, and he went 77 into the end zone. Now he gets it again as the Browns have it 1st and 10. Gets it out to about the 38-yard line. Oakland might have had a lot more points, I think, in this game, John. They were down challenging. They were down 1st and goal at the 6. Dick Ambrose intercepted then for Cleveland. Another time they were down close. A fumble was recovered by the Browns. and a couple of other drives that came up short, and they ended up in field goals. So the Cleveland Browns, as they've done all season, keep hanging in as we have 5:10 to play in the third quarter. And all of a sudden, when the fourth quarter comes into play, Cleveland often wins a football game.
Well, Oakland's pretty good at that period of time, too. I'd say we've got a pretty good matchup.
Brian Sipe has been sacked 5 times. They're taking better care of him. Now he throws to Logan, who catches the ball, coming back at it. And Logan is ahead on a 2nd and 8 play, very close to first down yardage. He caught the ball beyond the yardsticks for the first down, then came back, trying to elude the defenders. Jack Tatum knocked him down.
I'm certain he's got the first down, Don, but when he did break free, he fumbled the ball a little bit, so they had to give it to him where he could make progress. 1st and 10.
And the clock runs. It's down to 4:40 to play in the third quarter. The Raiders and the Browns both were greatly buoyed by yesterday's Seattle victory over Denver, which gives them renewed life for playoff hopes as wild cards in the AFC. New England, winning or losing against the Jets, could have a bearing. Jets were leading at last report. Now Brian Sipe on 1st and 10 takes a drop. He throws. It's an hard pattern down to Reggie Rucker, and I think the Raiders have another one. They do. Henry Williams, the rookie cornerback, and he's not done yet. Cordner blockers in front of him. And again, the Raiders come up with the interception. Not that long ago, if you just joined us, Charles Phillips intercepted for Oakland. And now Henry Williams does the same, so the Browns try to stop, and Oakland has excellent field position, John.
Well, it wasn't as much a badly thrown ball because Rucker had Williams' back turned to the play. When you do that, throw the ball up, usually your offensive receiver can come down with the ball. This time, Rucker went up for it and went right through his hands. Williams made a great reaction to it. That's having your hands in the right spot. Rucker did not touch him after he got the ball. You see him reach his paw out, try to get him before he got up. He wasn't able to. As a result, Williams made a great return. Oakland's got good field position inside the 40.
And as you see, Henry's got 3 for himself. A rookie from San Diego State called on to start when Monty Jackson went down with an injury. And right now, we have a break in the action here at Oakland, California. Raiders in the lead. Back at Oakland, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
WFMJ, Youngstown.
With John Brody, this is Don Crickey. 4:08 to play third quarter. Oakland Raiders 13, Cleveland Browns 7. Raiders with a second interception this half. Of this game, rather, of Brian Sipe, and now they go to the run straight ahead. Van Egan, playing with a bad bruise below the knee, carries it down the middle and down to the 34-yard line. Ambrose, the middle linebacker for Cleveland, on the knockdown.
Good offensive line play also by the right side of the offensive line. They're off on the ball. Any sort of penetration doesn't make a difference which way you push them. It creates a hole. Van Egan alertly found it. They pick up 7 or 6.
Stabler again goes to Van Egan on 2nd down and 5, and there's not much there. Robert Jackson, a former #1 draft choice of the Browns out of Texas A&M, who's moved into a starting alignment with the 3-4 defense, came up to make the strike. Be 3rd down and 5. Now New England leads the Jets 19-17. Sam Bam Cunningham just ran it in from a yard out for the Patriots touchdown, but a long way to go on that one. 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. We have 3:10 to play in the third quarter here at Oakland. The Raiders, with an 8-6 record, hoping to go as a wild card. So too are the Browns hoping for the wild card. They come in at 9-5. Here is Cliff Branch wide open. And you better get a net out and throw it over Branch when he gets it. Unless you grab him and hold on, he's gone. He's been in the end zone once today, was there twice Monday night. And Robert Jackson is slow getting up for Cleveland. Branch having another big day with 4 receptions. Robert Jackson being attended to now with 2:45 on the game clock in the third quarter.
Don, you know, a lot of times you'd say, hey, here's Robert Jackson. If he has to lead the field, maybe they'll have to go back to their 4-man line. But in this case, not so. The strength of their team is in their linebacker positions. Remember, Gerald Irons, who used to play for the Raiders and very well, is the 5th linebacker for them. So they could stay in their 3-man line even if Jackson has to come out.
Mike St. Clair, big guy from Grambling, number 74, it's come in. Cleveland using different defensive alignments up front. They go to the 4-man defensive front right now. 3 linebackers. Clay Matthews backing the line on the right side. Ambrose is in the middle. Charlie Hall on the left side. Arthur Whittington takes the ball right at the Cleveland Browns and runs it inside the 20. Now, throughout this game, we've seen this trend time and again with the Raiders driving down about this field position. Then something seems to go wrong, either an interception, a fumble, or else they're thrown back and end up kicking a field goal. They could very easily have an awful lot of points. Right now, they lead 13-7.
And there's a strange stat. When Oakland has lost, they have turned the ball over a lot. When they have won, they've had very few turnovers. I mean, some days they'll go with none. Other days they'll go with 5 or 6.
They do it with their offense. There's no question about that. When their offense is down, they're going to win. Here is Derek Ramsey taking the ball down to the 10-yard line on a 2nd and 5 play, and he has a first down. Gain of about 8. Clarence Scott and Robert Jackson knocked him down, but Derek Ramsey, one of 3 tight ends who plays for Oakland, makes the first down reception.
Well, Kenny's using everybody. He's using his backs, all 3 of his wide receivers. He's even used Chester on one play that he came into the ball game. This is just a Derek Ramsey on a little delay pattern, pick up 5 or 6 yards, control pattern, 1st and 10.
Raiders challenging. Arthur Whittington cuts inside. Sims, 275 pounds, number 78, throws him down. On a 1st and 10 carry, Arthur Whittington got only a yard. But the ball is down inside the Cleveland 10-yard line, and the 3rd quarter clock is running with a minute to play. Oakland 13, Cleveland 7. Tom Flores, in his first year as head coach of the Oakland Raiders, impassive. He didn't get excited about the whole thing, at least not outwardly.
You got that right.
Stabler looks, pump fakes into the end zone. Van Egan went up for it. He's caught a lot of balls this year. But that one he could not hold on to. Charlie Hall covering, but not that closely. Stops the clock with 38 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Kenny Snake Stabler comes into this game with 24 touchdown passes. He has one today for 25. 19 interceptions. Now the Raiders go to a 2 wide receiver formation. Rich Martini comes in along with Cliff Branch. They go primarily with 2 tight ends and 1 wide receiver. Their tight ends are just so good you have to have them in the lineup. Casper and Raymond Chester. On 3rd down, here's the throw from Stabler, and there is a full hit from Clay Matthews. Arthur Whittington caught it, but he's going to be down at about the 5-yard line, short of a first down. 4th down.
Well, it's a good play by the defensive backs. When they forced Stabler to come off to Whittington, he has had 3 wide receivers running through the end zone. They were all well covered. He has to come out to Whittington, and Matthews makes a good play defensively to hold him to a field goal try.
Now the Jets come back and take the lead, 24-19.
That's the help that the Raiders need if they are going to do anything.
That looks like a last at bat game, though. Keep changing the lead. Right now, we're going to take a break in the action as the Oakland Raiders, the 3rd quarter coming to an end. They'll kick the field goal in the 4th.
Hey, Les, what are you and Pam up to this afternoon?
Oh, we're just sitting around by the pool.
Jessica, darling, I just saw the most
Later on, why don't you guys come over?
When the people in Long Beach, California make phone calls,
Back at Oakland, California, this is Don Criqui with John Brody. The Raiders are leading the game 13-7. They're getting set for a 22-yard field goal attempt, but Ken Stabler, who's had a great day at quarterback for them, apparently John hit his hand, his throwing hand on somebody's helmet or face mask is being attended to.
The problem is they're putting that spray on there, but if that takes the feel out of his hand, he wouldn't be effective playing anyway, and his problem would be squeezing the ball. If you can't squeeze it, you're helpless. Plunkett is warming up. Stabler's awful tough, but this may be beyond his control.
Here's Breach with the field goal attempt. He's up and good, so that extends the Oakland Raider lead to 16-7, an important field goal, as the Browns were within go-ahead distance if they were able to score and score an extra point before that field goal. So the Oakland Raiders open up a 16-7 lead, as we'll see what shape Kenny Stabler is in. They spread that hurt no more on, but you were pointing out, John, and know so well, unless you can grip the ball hard, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, what you don't want is you don't want to have your hand numb. That's the way it gets rid of the pain. I mean, it freezes it, and you don't have any pain, but you don't have any feel. And
you must have that feel.
you got to have it.
NFL football coming up next weekend. Saturday, it's a special edition of NFL 79, followed by the Jets and the Miami Dolphins. Then on the final regular season Sunday, there's exciting regional coverage, including the Browns and the Bengals battle. Buffalo goes against the Steelers at Pittsburgh. The Seahawks against the Raiders right here in Oakland. And then, of course, as you see the other game, that's a 4 o'clock start Eastern Time. Seattle at Oakland should be a good one, so check the local listings for the game in your area. Next Sunday on NBC. Dino Hall and Randy Rich are back deep now. Here's a good kickoff. Jim Breach gets it down the deepest he has in this game. Dino Hall's not big, but he'll put his nose right in there, and he gets ahead across the 35-yard line, but there are 2 penalty markers down on the return. 99% of the time, the call will go against the return team. We welcome all of you who've been watching other games and have switched to this network. Those of you watching the Los Angeles market, the San Diego New Orleans game, that one was over early. As San Diego is executing the Saints, they went out of it when Atlanta today was beaten by Los Angeles. The Rams will win the NFC West. This is Don Criqui with John Brody. This is our score early in the fourth quarter. At 16-7, the Oakland Raiders are in the lead. 14:47 to play. The Browns struck their only score in the third quarter on a 77-yard run from scrimmage by their fullback, Mike Pruitt.
And the concern, Don, that we alluded to a moment ago, that Ken Stabler may be too hurt to return, hitting his hand on a helmet. They say he'll come back.
He possibly can. You know the snake will be in there. They go back to Mike Pruitt. They got long ball offense off that play not that long ago. That was the one that went for 77 yards. Pat Toomey makes the knockdown this time on a first down carry, or second down. It'll be second down and 6. Ball up just across the 20-yard line. Jim Plunkett, who came to the New England Patriots in the year of the quarterback, 1971. He was drafted first by New England. Archie Manning to New Orleans. Dan Pastorini to Houston, 1, 2, 3, and then Paul Brown took one on the third round, said he's got the best one, Kenny Anderson. Plunkett's career, of course, been hampered by injuries. Oh, look at Richard Kinlaw, rookie from Oklahoma, shoot the gap and make the knockdown on Dino Hall. Said Kinlaw was too small to play pro football. He was the consensus All-American at Oklahoma. Wasn't drafted until the 12th round, the last round.
What do? You see a guard pull? You've got to get in the action. Do what you can to stop him from pulling, and if you find the back, great. That time he handled both.
We'll be looking at Oklahoma, of course, in the Orange Bowl against Florida State. Last year, Oklahoma had 10 players drafted. They all made their NFL clubs, and an 11th made it as a free agent. 11 seniors from Oklahoma playing as rookies in the NFL. Third down and 10 now. Sipe lets her go. He's got Kelvin Hill open, but the ball stripped away. Rufus Best, a rookie from South Carolina State, number 38, who made the team as a free agent, comes up with a big defensive play as it appeared, John, that Kelvin Hill would get it.
It did, but Brian Sipe was rushed. He had to throw the ball, and a lot of the steam was taken out when Dave Kerr was right in his face. Now, they haven't done anything to control the 4-man line of Oakland today. If they don't do so, it's going to be hard putting points on the board.
It's 16-7. The Raiders are in the lead. Their fans are up and stomping now as they're going to get the ball back on a punt. Johnny Evans had a problem earlier today. The Raiders were right through on him, so much so that he had to run and try a pass that was incomplete. Subsequently, the Raiders turned that into a field goal. This time, Evans gets a good snap, but he's not punted the ball well. His average is only 33 yards. Ira Matthews picks it up on the one hop, and the coverage is there. Randy Rich is down to cover, number 24. So with 13:20 left to play in the ball game, and the Raiders in the lead 16-7, we take a break in the action here at Oakland's Alameda County Coliseum. We'll be back in a moment.
In New York, reporting that the Patriots and the Jets are involved in a wild one out at Shea. Trailing 17-12, the Patriots send Sam Cunningham over the top, 1-yard dive. They go out in front 19-17. But the Jets come back, march all the way down the field, and then from 8 yards out, Richard Todd rolls left, finds nothing but green in front of him, rolls into the end zone. Jets out in front of the Patriots 24-19. Back to Oakland and Don Criqui.
All right, thank you, Brian. So the Jets and the New England Patriots going back and forth at Shea Stadium. The Jets leading 24-19.
And another division picture, San Francisco looking for its second win. O.J. Simpson's last day as a 49. They're ahead 20-7 over Tampa Bay.
Well, Tampa Bay's taken the pipe. When they were in shouting distance of a playoff spot in the divisional championship, they've just gone south.
And if you can't score against San Francisco, you're going to be in trouble.
I think rigor mortis has set into Tampa Bay. They hadn't been there before, and when they got close, they couldn't handle it. Stabler, as you thought, John, is right back in there. 13:01 to play in the game. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up after the 2-yard carry. The ball at the 43-yard line of Oakland. Stabler having another big day. With that touchdown pass, incidentally, he's Oakland's all-time leading touchdown thrower. 149 career, one more than Darryl Lamonica. Out to Cliff Branch. Looked like it hit him in a bad place.
But that answered any question as to whether Kenny can throw the ball. That ball was put out there on a line, 35 yards in the air.
Right in the hands.
Right in the numbers.
Stabler is in his 10th year from Alabama, 6'3", 210 pounds. Flores' coach was a quarterback in the old All-American Football League with Oakland and with the Buffalo Bills. He recalled a game that his team scored 51 points and won by a field goal.
That's all you have to win by.
That's all. Expected to be easier now, I guess, if you get 51. Here's a throw downfield. It's broken up nicely. They went to Casper, and Browns converged on it. And a free football was up, and there's a Cleveland defender down. Tom Dardner, all-pro safety, a little slow getting up. That brings up 4th down now for Oakland. They're going to have to punt the ball back to Cleveland.
You notice we haven't seen a lot of Tom Dardner because they don't try him very often. But when they do, he seems to be in position to make the play. He's a tough man to beat, so most guys don't try him.
Ray Guy has been angling for the sidelines in a lot of his punts. That's why the short yard per punt average today, he's best, second best in the league right now. The best is Drupp at Kansas City. Hitting it out of sight. Here is Guy hitting the ball. Oh, man. Dino Hall goes all the way back to his 2, and Dino's going to try his best. No room there. Let's go the other way. Not much there either. Dino Hall does well to get it to the 12. As Guy put a charge into the ball. Remember the year they were looking for the helium-filled football here? 56-yard punt, a 10-yard return by Ray Guy, and a break in the action at Oakland with the Raiders still in the lead, 16-7 in the 4th quarter. We'll be back in a moment. Winners tell jokes and losers stay deal, and John Madden sitting back enjoying it all here in Oakland after 10 great seasons as head coach of the Raiders. Every one a winning season. The 77 Super Bowl championship ring on his finger. Said he really got an idea. It might be time to do something else when his wife told him one day that their son Mike was going to take his driving test the next day. He said, "What do you mean driving test? He's not old enough to drive." Yes, he is.
He found out.
John said, "I thought he was still about 10. Sight throws. Dave Logan catches, and Logan turns upfield. He's going to be close to a Cleveland 1st down on a 1st down pitch. Lester Hayes held down and rode him down. 10-yard gain.
Take a look. Henry Williams, they've tried him several times with very limited success. He's come up with an interception. This is a little under the flow play. It's not really his responsibility, but Cleveland has to put it in the air, and they have to be effective.
First and 10 for the Browns. Sight stands in. He throws and completes again, this time to his fullback. And Mike Pruitt takes it out across the 30 to the 32. On a 1st and 10 carry, he got 8. So it'll be 2nd and 2. Villapiano made the knockdown on the play. Pruitt 2 receptions for the day. His big play, though, is that quick hitter from scrimmage, 77 yards and a 3rd quarter touchdown. The Browns' only point so far. They trail 16-7. The game clock is down to 11:20 to play. Second down, actually, in about a yard. Ozzie Newsome has not caught a ball today for the Browns. They're 50 catch man so far this season. Tight throws. Ball is taken down and lost by Dave Logan. It'll be 30 yards. Interesting to watch Newsome and the coverage they're giving him, John. They're just putting somebody right on his nose at the line of scrimmage, and they're just running with him wherever he goes.
Well, that means they put a burden on Henry Williams. The cornerback that we mentioned hadn't been exploited much throughout the season, but we expected to see exploited today. He's held his own. That really makes their whole defense work. If you can put a burden on one cornerback and have him hold up, you can play some defense.
Ryan Sight standing in. They've taken better care of him. He was sacked 5 times in the first half. Big play for the Browns, 3rd down and 1. And Pruitt gets the yard and some more as he drives it out from the 32-yard line to the 35. So Cleveland keeps its drive going. And the clock continues to run. 10:45 to play in the game. Oakland 16, Cleveland 7. Rod Martin and Reggie Kinlaw are on the stop for Oakland. Yards rushing this season. Reggie Rucker goes out wide to the left. Logan, a big lanky receiver who played basketball at Colorado and was a Major League Baseball prospect, is wide to the right. They're looking at Newsom, and Ozzie gets the first ball thrown to him and does it as he did so often all season long. One-handed, up in the air and down with the football.
Gives you a pretty good indication as to why they're double covering him all day long. I mean, that ball was not a well-thrown ball. It looked like it was going for a certain incompletion. Mike Davis has been doing a fine job. He gave him just a little bit of room that time. He came down with the reception, picked up a first down.
Big play. They go to Ozzie Newsom from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. The man that Bear Bryant said the best pass catcher we've ever had at Alabama. You can talk about Hudson or all of them.
I tell you, either the hands are getting bigger or the ball is getting smaller. I don't know which.
A lot of guys are catching with one hand, though. First and 10, Sipe deep drop. He has a problem, swings it out. Ozzie Newsom has, he can go with the ball. Newsom spins ahead and did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Mike Davis held on and knocked him down, so it would have been almost better incomplete. First downs an even number, 16 apiece. Bottom line is the thing, though, and that's 16-7 Oakland with 9:10 to play.
Both these quarterbacks very cool in the last 10 minutes of the game. You won't catch either one of them making bad mistakes that cost their team time or yardage.
Throughout the season, Cleveland has been a fourth-quarter team. That's where they play their best football. They come up with a big play. Sipe takes a drop on second down and 12. He runs out of trouble. He stands in. He swings it out. There's a man there. Mike Pruitt catches the ball for a first down at the 28-yard line. Talk about poise under pressure. Sipe stands and lofts it up.
That's exactly what you're talking about. His primary receivers were covered. He's still getting a good pass rush. Matusik forces the play. Pear forces the play. He gets out from underneath. He puts the ball up to Mike Pruitt, who is covered only by Monty Johnson. You can't expect a middle linebacker to cover a back all over the field. Let's take a look at why he went to him. Here's Henry Williams trying to handle Dave Logan all over the field. At this time, Sipe's running for his life. He doesn't even see Logan.
It was Ernest Hemingway who defined courage is poised under pressure. Brian Sipe demonstrating that now. Throws another strike. This time he swings it out to big Calvin Hill. The fullback from Yale who swings out. He's cut some today to playing with a painful knee. He's been in and out of the lineup, did not start. Cleo Miller was a starting runner along with Mike Pruitt.
This is a good indication of what's been happening all day long. Sipe didn't even have time to get down to his primary receivers. He likes to throw it to his outside players. The pass rush made him take what they gave him. Just a little bitty 3-yard play to the back.
Cleveland getting down close. 7:56 to play. The clock stopped on the out-of-bounds carry after the reception. 16-7 Oakland, but the Browns starting them out a challenge. Second down and 6. Sipe goes to the draw, and here's Pruitt heading for the end zone again. And Mike Pruitt takes it down to the 1-yard line. But there's a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage.
But I think it's Dave Pear who jumped a little bit early. It could have been caused by an offensive lineman, but I didn't see any offensive lineman move.
John,
there's
you got
Pear.
the good eyes. You got it.
Well, so often, I mean, he's already created a hole by moving a little bit early. He shows the offensive lineman which way he's going, makes the block very easy. Pruitt takes advantage, and they've got it first and goal.
74, defense, refuse, first down.
Well, we're going to head down the stretch with another good one. The Cleveland Browns lose you, give it to you that way. The Oakland Raiders leading 16-7. They dig in on defense. 10 men come up on the defensive front. The Browns with the power back line just behind Sipe. Mike Pruitt. He gets the handoff. He cracks. He hits. Did he break the plane? He did not. Nothing in there yet. So it'll be second and goal from inside the 1-yard line, and here comes Calvin Hill with a play. Nose of the football almost at the goal line.
Pretty tough going downstairs, but when Calvin Hill comes in the game, if they hand it to him, you can bet he's going up over the top. That's no picnic either.
That's a very good point. Calvin Hill, when he was in high school in New York City, I didn't see it, but a lot of people claim they did. Touched the top of a backboard. I'm not talking about the rim. I'm talking the top of the backboard. That's what kind of a skier he was. He might be going over the top now. Calvin Hill, no, they go to Pruitt. He goes up high. And he didn't get there again. The Oakland Raiders hold. Third and goal.
They can't have more than 3 inches to go, Don, but it's a long 3.
Pat Janae's played a fine game. He's off the bottom of the pile.
When you choose your point of attack, you've got to get some penetration from your offensive line.
Now Calvin Hill goes out, and Pat Moriarty comes in the game.
You can see the Raiders won at the point of attack.
Third down and goal for the Cleveland Browns. 6:58 to play in the game. Oakland 16, Cleveland 7. Sipe the quarterback. Willis Adams goes in motion. Handoff. Touchdown, Cleveland. If at first you don't succeed and the Browns go to the same play, 1, 2, 3, and finally they get it in.
They needed 3 inches. If they got 4, I'll put in with you. But they got enough.
They got a few inches, that's right. But it was 6 points worth. And now a big extra point coming up as it's a 16-13 game. And the Browns hit the extra point. A field goal could win it for them, but these Raiders aren't done yet either. It's Stabler. Here, let's watch the touchdown run.
Good offensive line play. The left side of the offensive line moved them just enough. Pruitt took advantage of it, got them back in the ball game. This extra point could pull them to within 2.
Pruitt with 10 touchdowns this year, 8 rushing, 2 today, and he's caught 2 for touchdowns earlier in the season. Cockcroft, who doesn't miss many, didn't miss that one, and it's now a 16-14 game with 6:50 left to play. So there's a break in the action. We've got a good one when we come back. 6:50 to play, and the Raiders let the Browns get back in it.
I know where that is.
I do indeed. My pal Burley Mack from Beulah is in the Cleveland audience. 6:50 to play in the game. 16-14. 2-point lead for the Oakland Raiders. And now the Cleveland Browns teed up and are ready to kick it off. Arthur Whittington is back deep. Cleveland, the come-from-behind team, always keeps it interesting.
And Arthur Whittington's the only one that is back deep. They expect an onside kick. I don't think they'll get one.
Well, I don't either. I don't see the wisdom of that.
Well, they've got everybody over on the left side, so they'll probably try and kick it high and get good coverage.
That's just what Cockcroft does. Sends a spinner down to Whittington at the 15-yard line. He tries to outrun the coverage coming back. And Willis Adams, the rookie from Houston, the #1 draft choice, comes down and makes the play at the 17-yard line. So Oakland starts off inside its own 20 with plenty of time remaining, 6:43 to play.
All right, Niners. Do you see that, boy?
I see it. They haven't had many. I thought they were in the Billy Sims Bowl, but they're out there playing it out.
We get to yell when we get them, though.
How about Tampa Bay? The rigor mortis has set in, those boys. Coach McKay stopped the one-liner. First and 10. Here's a handoff. Whittington dancing gets across the 20 to the 21. We're going to run down all the scores from around the league on this 15th weekend of play as teams close in on the playoffs. Right now, the Raiders holding to a 2-point lead. 16-14 with 6:26 left to play. Here is the Miami Dolphins winning 28-10 over Detroit. Miami a victory away from winning the AFC East. The Rams with a big victory today. They win the NFC West, beating Atlanta 34-13. Washington comes from behind on Theismann's passes to beat Cincinnati 28-14. St. Louis beats the Giants 29-20. We'll have more. Stabler on second down and 7. Throws, and the ball is caught by Dave Casper for a first down. Casper having another all-pro day. Gets the ball out to the 40-yard line. That's a 19-yard gain.
Stabler puts his best against their best. Darden just missed the ball. Casper goes in with a big gain and a first down.
5 receptions, 49 yards for David Casper. The Bears stay in the running in the NFC Central. They beat Green Bay 15-14. Kansas City coming down the stretch pretty strong. Wins at Baltimore. Minnesota beats Buffalo. San Diego.
They're pretty strong, too.
They are. It was over Monday night, I think, for the Saints. Oakland did it to them. 5:20 to go now. The Raiders trying to run the clock down. It runs to 5:18 and moving. They have the ball out to the 43-yard line on a 1st and 10 carry. Lyle Alzado makes the stop. For Whittington.
The Raiders will do anything they can to score, but they would like to take as much time as they can because they know Cleveland's habits. How many touchdowns have they scored in the last 5 minutes of a ball game? We're just under 5 minutes now. When the Raiders have it, no one can score.
Beating Oakland at Alameda County Coliseum is one of the tougher things in the league to do. Here's Stabler on 2nd down and 6. Throws a strike and Cliff Branch hangs on. He paid the price. Oliver Davis hit him hard in the small of the back. Knocked him down at the 46-yard line. 14-yard gain, and the Raiders move on with a 1st down.
And his offensive line continues to give him excellent vision. You notice that time Gene Upshaw just cut down Jack Gregory, allowed him to see well over the middle and complete the pass.
So Stabler delivers a big pass, and now Cliff Branch having another big day with 5 receptions brings the Raiders down to the Cleveland 43-yard line. And the clock runs 4:08 to go. They go to the fullback. Mark Van Eegen takes it to the 40. Clay Matthews stopped him on a 1st down carry. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Browns need to get the ball back, but Stabler, so good when the pressure's on, keeps taking the Raiders further and further into the Cleveland area.
It's the first time in the second half that they have really won at the line of scrimmage or moved the ball.
You see the game clock winding down. That's in the 4th quarter. 3:35 left to play in the game. Oakland leading by 2 points, 16-14. Here's Stabler on 2nd and 6. Swings it out. Van Eegen catches, and he's ahead very close to a 1st down. Van Eegen had to get to the 33. Ambrose knocked him down right about there.
Don, and that little move made such a big difference, because even if it is 3rd and a foot, that's okay. But that last little move he made, rather than make it 3rd and 3, which is really a very difficult rushing down, but an easy and usually a throwing down, created the situation. Look at this. He gets away from Clay Matthews, picks up an extra 3 yards, puts him within a foot of a 1st down.
3rd down and inches. Across the bay, San Francisco continues to lead Tampa Bay 23-7. 3rd down and inches. They go to the run. Here is Booker Russell, a 245-pound fullback, and he is there. Booker Russell takes it inside the 30, and the Raiders drive out. Larry Scott knocked him down. Bowl games are coming up on NBC. Some great ones starting Christmas Day when the Pitt Panthers, ranked in the top 10, go against the Wildcats of Arizona in the Fiesta Bowl. And then New Year's Day, the game of the day, the game of this season perhaps. Heisman Trophy winner Charles White leads the 2nd-ranked Trojans against the #1 Buckeyes in a game that could decide the national championship. Probably will. Then the undefeated Seminoles of Florida State go against Billy Sims and the Sooners of Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl New Year's Day night. Swing pass to Arthur Whittington, 1st down carry. He got ahead for a couple of yards and was crashed down to the 26-yard line.
Easy to complete, keeps the clock running, and picks up a few yards. We mentioned earlier, Sipe nor Stabler will waste any time that shouldn't be. And both of them have done an excellent job within the last 10 minutes. Stabler in no way wants to give Sipe a chance with that ball and any time left.
Cleveland Browns just called a timeout. They have 2 left, and so we have a break in the action. 2:15 to play in the game, and we'll be back at Oakland in a moment. With John Brody, this is Don Criqui back at Oakland. We're coming down the stretch. 2:15 to play in the game. The Raiders have the ball and a 2-point lead over Cleveland, 16-14. 2nd down and 8 coming up for Oakland at the 26-yard line of Brown. Stabler at quarterback, setting his team down, takes the drop. They give him time again. All he needs, swings it out to Van Eegen. But the Brown linebackers have it in. Charlie Hall with the knockdown. Stabler's really got room to work, doesn't he, John?
He's got room to work. He's trying to utilize as much of the time as he can. They're down at the 2-minute warning. He's throwing safe passes, but he wants badly to get in a position to pick up 7. 3 points gives Cleveland a chance to get back in the ball game.
And we'll be back with the last 2 minutes of the game after this. To go, and a big 3rd down coming up for the Raiders. 3rd down and 8 at the Cleveland 27-yard line. Oakland 16, Cleveland 14. As you pointed out, John, if the Raiders should take a field goal, that would give them a 5-point margin right now. And Sipe just might take it right down into the end zone, the way he plays in the final minutes of the game.
Okay, both these quarterbacks, the one that has the ball, I've got to do my betting on. And I can't think of a better guy to have 3rd and 8. He needs to throw the ball than the Snake.
Wisely, of course. Right. Here we are with Stabler standing in, looking in the end zone. Boy, they give him time. He's got a guy going for it. It is Chester. The ball is broken up. Oh, what a play. Recovering and making a great play for the Cleveland Browns with Oliver Davis.
And he didn't even have his head to the ball. I mean, it was one of those plays that he knew the ball was coming in about that area, Don. Raymond Chester made a fine move, a little out and up move. His offensive line gave him time to look around. He spotted Chester. Davis is on the hustle, man. You see, he comes back, just put his arm up where Chester was trying to catch the ball, made a great play.
Also covering was Ricky Jones, a little used linebacker. Now Jim Breach will try a 45-yard field goal. Browns give him something to think about. Breach hits it. Oh, well done by Jim Breach. Little guy with a big leg. Jim Breach is only 5'7", but he hits a big field goal. And that takes the Browns out of field goal range to win this game. Now they must score a touchdown, and there's 1:48 left on the clock with Oakland kicking off. So we'll be back at Oakland, and the Browns will get back the ball trailing 19-14 with 1:48 to play. Minute and 48 seconds of this game. Jim Breach going to kick it off after he hit a 45-yard field goal to give Oakland a 19-14 lead. Dino Hall at the 3, 10, 15, blockers 20, and gets out to the 23-yard line. The clock stops with 1:43 to go. The Browns go on offense, trailing by 5, 1st and 10. John Huddleston and Mike Davis came down to make the tackle for the Oakland Raiders. While we have a moment, we'd like to thank our crew in the booth: Bill Breslin, Len Shapiro, Don Lahan, and Joe Costanza. And also our producer for NBC Today, Larry Cirillo, and our director, Harry Coyle, our entire NBC crew, but we're not done yet.
We got a lot of action left. We won't have a tie, but a lot of action.
Reggie Rucker comes wide to the right. On the left flank, Dave Logan. Setbacks, Mike Pruitt, Calvin Hill. They both swing out. Standing in his sight. He's got time. Now he must hurry. He throws, and wisely gets the ball out of bounds. Coverage was there. Reggie Rucker didn't have much to work with.
Coverage was great because his offensive line gave him plenty of time for one of the few times today. He had no one to throw to. He didn't try to force it. He's got 3 downs left.
2nd down and 10 coming up for the Cleveland Browns. The ball at their 24-yard line. They must take it into the end zone. If they do, they could win this game as they're down by 19-14. 97 seconds left, 1:37 to go. Again, Logan left, Rucker right. Tight end is Newsom, has caught only one all day. Cleveland's leading receiver. He's open over the middle. Now they throw long. Going forward is Logan. He's a leaper, but the ball's out of bounds. And the Browns are 2 downs away now from possibly a loss.
Henry Williams has been given a little bit of leeway right now. He's most effective covering Logan the way he's doing it. Man-to-man, bump and run, they call it, but you can't bump him anymore. He's got Jack Tatum playing the deep outside in his territory, and it really gives Henry a little flexibility. It's been very hard to get a man open. Oh, Arthur is concerned now.
Art Modell, the president of the Browns, looks on. The Cleveland Browns have 3rd down, coming up 3rd and 10. Big 3rd down play for the Cleveland Browns. Brian Sipe drops back, sets himself in, takes a look, lofts it down. Calvin Hill is there. The ball is taken away. Knocked down by Rufus Betts, a rookie. They are up and cheering here in Oakland as the Raiders have stopped the Cleveland Browns on 3 straight downs, and now Cleveland could very well be 1 down away from a defeat that could take them out of the playoff picture. This is Don Criqui with John Brody. It is 4th down coming up for Cleveland. The ball at the Cleveland Brown 24-yard line, 4th and 10, and the Raiders leading the game 19-14.
Remember, Don, they still have 2 timeouts left, but on 4th down, they have to pick up the first right now. They couldn't get it back, but it would be an awful tough situation.
4th down and 10 for Brian Sipe and the Cleveland Browns. They must make the first down here to keep it going. They're down by 5. He throws. He looks. Now Rozzie Newsom is back to the football as it came in. And the defensive secondary, the Oakland Raiders, salutes each other with reason. They have done the big job stopping the Browns on 4 straight downs. And now Brian Sipe fires a fist into the turf. That will do it for Cleveland.
Well, you know what he thought, Don? He thought Ozzie Newsom was going down the field about 20 yards and stop up, because you could tell when he let the ball go, he thought he had Newsom open. He thought he had a sure reception. Newsom was trying to beat the safety man, Jack Tatum, deep. A little miscommunication. You can see the reaction of Art Modell. They've had a fine year, but it looks like it's coming to a halt today. Looks like Oakland's going to stay alive. Never can tell with a minute and 22 left, but that's the way it looks from here.
Newsom was running the deep pattern, had his back turned to the ball, and came in on the one hop behind him. And so the Browns turn it over, failing to convert on 4 successive downs, and the Oakland Raiders still very much in the playoff picture. Come in now to run out the clock. Stabler at quarterback, first down and 10. He goes to his fullback in Van Egan. Crashes down to the 22. They don't want yards, now they want time. It runs down to 117, and the Browns call for and are allotted a timeout.
Don, they do have one timeout left, and they could get the ball back, but they would only have 10 or 15 seconds at that time if Oakland elects to run 4 plays. And it's not enough time to operate 80 yards from touchdown area, and I don't think you'll see the Raiders trying to kick a field goal.
Ken Stabler, as his former coach John Madden was reporting him earlier, said the great thing about Stabler is if it's a Super Bowl and you're in the last 30 seconds of the game and it's on the line, or if you're at a Wednesday practice, he's exactly the same. He doesn't get excited. He doesn't jump up and down and scream, what are we going to do next? He is there and he's ready.
He's ready right now, and he's talking it over with Tom Flores. He knows that if the Browns take a timeout, one more timeout, that'll be it. They could still have a minute and 14, 12 seconds left to play, but 2 plays later, they'd only have about 12 or 14. It wouldn't allow them enough time. I'm sure that's what he's explained to Flores. Not that he needed to. I mean, that was the area of discussion.
LA at second down and 8, coming up 1:17 left to play in the game. Both these teams greatly buoyed by yesterday's development at Seattle. The Seahawks upsetting the Denver Broncos. And now Oakland could be closing in on a playoff spot with a victory here today. Although this will not make it official. They go to the run. Carrying the ball is Derek Jensen. Another fullback takes it inside the 20 on 2nd and 8. Ambrose and Jackson were on the stop, and so right now the Raiders are 112 away from a very big victory. We have a break in the action here at Oakland, California. We'll be back with the conclusion after this. The run and took it straight ahead. Arthur Whittington carried. He got it down to the 15-yard line. He didn't get a first down. It'll bring up 4th down and 1, and the clock runs down to 55.
And we discussed it earlier. Stabler says, hey, we don't want a field goal. It's the only way we can get beat. If they block it, they could get themselves in position to go on and make a touchdown and win the ball game. He feels that they'll be so hampered for time by the time they get it back, and I'm sure their offense is over there. They've already created 2 or 3 plays that they can get out and get with fast, but I don't think it's enough time.
Mike Pruitt having a great day for the Browns with 149 yards rushing, 7.5 average per carry, 177 yards for a touchdown, but apparently not quite enough. As now there's a timeout with 29 seconds left to play. And you don't know, John, what this playoff picture is going to be until they play it off next Sunday, and then they go to the computer. Earlier this season, look at Tampa Bay. They had the greatest record in the league. They were cruising. And their coach, John McKay, said it wasn't that long ago we couldn't score against a strong wind. Well, that's been the case today. The 49ers aren't a lot better than a strong wind, I don't think, but they're beating the Japers out of Tampa Bay.
It's a big win, Don, for San Francisco. It gets their program started.
This Thursday night, the Bob Hope Merry All-Star Christmas Special. You'll see Catherine Crosby, Angie Dickinson, Bonnie Franklin, Adam Rich. The Rose Bowl Queen will be there, and so will the Associated Press 1979 All-America team led by Heisman Trophy winner Charles White of USC and Billy Sims of Oklahoma. That's next Thursday night, December 13th at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC. So the Raiders very much in the playoff picture. 29 seconds from beating the Cleveland Browns. It was 13-0 at the half. Oakland. Cleveland rallied back, trailed by 2, and here is the carry to a 245-pound fullback, and he's not going to get to the 10. 4 new downs, that's it.
Game is history. 20 seconds left. There won't even be a need to get another play off. The Raiders are still in it, pal.
And they might be a real factor, John, if they do get in.
I'll tell you, the best quality they have exposed itself over the last 3 weeks of the season. They said, we think we have a very slight chance of getting in the playoffs, but we have to go out and do something to keep ourselves alive.
That's it. The Raiders win it, and a big win it was. The Oakland Raiders defeat the Cleveland Browns 19-14 here at Oakland's Alameda County Coliseum. Art Modell reflects the disappointment of the whole Cleveland operation as they came to this Oakland looking for a win after beating Houston. Didn't get it. The Oakland Raiders could be headed for the playoffs. The executive producer of NBC's football is Don Omeyer. The coordinating producer is Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game has been produced by Larry Cirillo, directed by Harry Coyle, technical director Dick Rucker, associate director Ray Benassi. For John Brody, this is Don Crickey, and now let's go to Brian Gumbel and Mike Adamley in New York.
Okay, Mike, I think this final is vindication of Kenny Stabler's season.
Maligned all last year, he's got the Raiders on the verge of a playoff berth.
Indeed, they've come back very, very well. And the fact that the Browns lost is really a shame because we've tipped our hat all year long to one Brian Sipe and the Cleveland Browns. There isn't a lot of emotion in this game sometimes when you do what we do, but I think we certainly feel it for the Browns. They have not cheated one fan who's seen them play. They've given their money's worth every time out. We're going to step aside and we'll come back with more after this word from Budweiser. I try to get you all caught up on just what has happened throughout the NFL today. At the Pontiac Silverdome, Dolphins had a pretty easy time of it. Bob Greasy and company, 28-10. Greasy threw 2 touchdown passes.
Washington sets the stage where the Rams beat the Atlanta Falcons 34-13. They're in now. The Washington Redskins set the stage for a big game next week against the Dallas Cowboys by beating the Cincinnati Bengals 28-14. 29-20 was the St. Louis score over the Giants. O.J. Anderson breaks Earl Campbell's rookie rushing record. The Green Bay Packers lost to the Bears today, keeping the Bears' hopes alive 15-14. And Kansas City moved their record up to 7-8 with a 10-7 win over the Baltimore Colts.
Okay, Mike, the Minnesota Vikings said farewell today to Jim Marshall, his last home game in Bloomington, but the Vikings made it on a winning note and with perhaps their best defensive effort of the year. The Vikings turned back the Buffalo Bills. Final count there was 10-3, the lone touchdown Kramer to Rashad. San Diego Chargers are in the playoffs for the first time since 1965. They did it very easily. They turned back the New Orleans Saints and killed off their playoff chances in conjunction with the Rams win today. Fouts and company won it 35-0. Another big day for Fouts. He's only about 100 yards short of reaching the 4,000-yard mark for the season. He'd be the first to do that since Joe Namath in '67.
How about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Their Cinderella Odyssey on the verge of turning into a pumpkin. They've lost their 3rd consecutive game. It'll go down to the wire between them and the Chicago Bears next week to decide who is the winner in the NFC's Central Division. Another game this afternoon that was involving the Cleveland Browns and the Oakland Raiders. The game you just saw, a heartbreaker for the Cleveland Browns, a big win for the Oakland Raiders. Now they have to wait to see what Houston does and see what the Denver Broncos do.
And let's clarify Oakland's position. Oakland could beat Seattle next week and then wait and see. And if the Broncos should manage to lose to the Chargers, that game in San Diego, they'd be in the playoffs. And the Jets are out in front of New England 24-19. So let's go to that ball game live and join Marv Albert.
We would like to welcome all those stations that have just joined us around the country. Marv Albert with Mike Hafner from Shea Stadium in New York. 6:24 left in the 4th quarter, and the Jets leading the New England Patriots by the score of 24-19. The Patriots in punt formation. Eddie Hare, the rookie out of Tulsa, back at his 15-yard line. Bruce Hopper is the deep man, and he calls fair catch out of the 41.
It's week 16, and as we close out the regular season, we've got some teams pointing to the playoffs, others pointing to the future. In Pittsburgh at Three Rivers Stadium, one of each today, the Buffalo Bills looking to finish out a 500 season, their first 500 season since 1975. The Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a defeat at the hands of the Houston Oilers, looking for their 6th straight crown in the AFC Central Division. Meanwhile, looking for crown number 1 in the NFC Central, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, searching for elusive victory number 10, go against the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Cleveland Browns, led by that man, Brian Sipe, are in a wait-and-see position. They'll have to pile up points against the Bengals and then hope for some other teams to lose. Meanwhile, the Giants, led by Phil Simms, closing out in a search for respectability, going against the Baltimore Colts in the Meadowlands. Our eyes on all of those games and the eyes of the runner of the 70s. He has his on the runners of the 80s. Mr. O.J. Simpson gives his opinion of Messrs. Campbell, Peyton, Sims, White, and many more, all today on NFL 79. Sports presents NFL 79, an inside look at professional football and a preview of today's games. Brought to you by the new 1980 Volkswagen Rabbit, Dasher, and Scirocco. Volkswagen does it again. And by these fine products from G. Heilman Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin, and other cities. Good afternoon, everyone. Bryant Gumbel and Mike Adamley welcoming you to NFL 79, week number 16. We have to start it on a sad note, the passing at the age of 55 of George Halas Jr., president of the Bears. Mike, you know him well.
Brian, he was known as Muggsy to friends and family. He will be missed dearly. We certainly give our condolences to his wife, Pat, and his 2 children.
Got a full slate of NFL action as we close out this regular season. 5 games on tap. Let's take a look around at the weather. There could be some snow in Pittsburgh at Three River Stadium. There the Steelers will take on the Bills. Out at the Meadowlands, it's overcast. Weather in the 40s as the Giants there will go against the Baltimore Colts. Down in Tampa Bay at Tampa Stadium, it's about 60 degrees, but it is raining, as you can see, where the Buccaneers will have to entertain the Kansas City Chiefs. And out in Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium, it'll be the Bengals against the Browns. 35 degrees, rain and snow expected during that ball game at some point. Michael, week 16, we've still got some things up in the air as we talk about playoffs. Let's take a look at our picture starting in the AFC. Now, these 4 teams already have a position secured, but only Miami has clinched a division title. The 5th playoff position, well, 3 teams are going to fight for that.
In a nutshell, if Denver wins tomorrow night in San Diego, they're in. Should Denver lose and Oakland win today, they are in. Should Denver and Oakland both lose by a sufficient number of points, Cleveland might be in.
Game, and the coach is there, and Hank, what an amazing record that Jim Marshall is closing out with today in your ball game.
Well, it's really incredible. Brent, as you know, he's been in the league for 20 years, started 181 consecutive games, and is 41 years old. You know, it's really tough to survive the pregame warm-up over that long period of time, let alone play consistently in the National Football League. But, you know, all the years I was at Kansas City, we had a great deal of respect and admiration for Jim because of the way he played and the kind of a person he was. Been a great credit to the National Football League and most of all to himself, his teammates at Minnesota. And we're very proud to be here today to participate in the last game that he'll...
That AFC team, even though they've got people like Terry Bradshaw and Don Fouts who also deserve to be on the squads. Now, the 1979 NFL season is winding.
Physically. You see Earl run away from guys. I question how serious they are about catching Earl. I know if I was playing defense, I wouldn't be looking forward to finding Earl Campbell on the football field. I've seen him go one-on-one confrontations with defensive players that no other running back playing the game today would come out ahead, and Earl will find himself in the end zone. Charles White, of the college players, I think he has the quickest feet of any back playing the game today. But he has a way with his feet where he either steps around them or he leans away from them where they eventually get no contact of him. Billy Sims may just rate as the best athlete of all the top running backs. He reminds me of a gymnast, a tumbler. What amazed me about him is his ability to leap over guys or jump away from tacklers without breaking stride. Now, this kid here truly amazes me. It may be self-serving to heap a lot of praise on him because I do see the similarity in styles with yours truly. But seriously, Otis Anderson has the potential to be the class of the 80s. I think we do have similar styles. I can see why they call him OJ. You'll see Otis fake a guy on the run. He'll run and he'll do a little juke, and he's never really slows down. I felt that was my asset of getting rid of guys or juking a guy without slowing down and running away from the other contact. Otis Anderson does it as well as anybody I've ever seen. You know, as a player, I always thought the most exciting aspect of a football game was watching a great runner. Well, Earl, Walter, Billy, Charles, OJ, or Otis Anderson, the ball is in your hands now. And as a former running back and now a fan, I know you're not going to let me down.
You know, no matter who carries the ball for O.J. into the 1980s, let's hope that they demonstrate the same kind of class that O.J. demonstrated off the field as well.
Here, I'll second that. I think we all will. It's a big day of football. We're closing it out. Don't forget, Mike and I will be with you throughout the day with scores and highlights. Right now, moments away from kickoff, NFL 79 continues. We go down on the field.
Driving toward a wild card.
I'd rather not say anything about Oakland today.
All right, I'll tell you what. They're going to win, but they get their hands full in that game. I'll do it for you. Washington, Dallas, the big one, coming up a little bit later on CBS.
It's 10 points better ball club than Denver. There's no question in my mind about it. But they've never learned how to win. They haven't been in this position before. Denver has been in this position. But I'm rooting for San Diego.
All right, toss-ups now and some games about ready to start. New England, Atlanta, and Cleveland slightly favored. Los Angeles over New Orleans and the Giants over Baltimore. The NFL Today continues on CBS in just a moment.
Foxborough Stadium here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Kurt Gowdy, Hank Stram. We've just had the opening kickoff. The Vikings ran it back to their own 45. And we're set to go. The Vikings in white won the toss. Come up to the line of scrimmage with Tommy Kramer, the quarterback. He's played every down in every game this year. The handoff goes to Ted Brown. Brown, the running back, a stop by Steve Nelson, the linebacker, at the Viking 46-yard line. It'll be second down, 9 to go. Let's set you up now with the Viking offense. Tommy Kramer is the quarterback. Ricky Young, 34. Ted Brown, 23, the running back. Ahmad Rashad, Sammy White are the wide receivers, and Bob Tucker is the tight end. Riley, Huff, Swilly, Hamilton, Yerry are the interior linemen. In motion, Ricky Young. Kramer for the throw. Sideline, skipping out is Rashad. He is the leading wide receiver pass catcher in the league. Joe Washington, the running back, has caught the most passes.
Ray Maravich is the newest member of the Boston Celtics. Maravich, who was put on waivers by the Utah Jazz last week, had expressed an interest in going to Philadelphia, but Pete signed with Boston. The reason: the Celtics have 13 championships to their credit, and Maravich desperately wants to play for a winner. Virginia Tech defeated Florida State 79-77 on Monday night. So what, you say? Well, the winning basket was rather amazing. Let's pick up the action with 10 seconds left in the game.
10 seconds left. He hit Bobby Parks. Parks passes on. Crooks. Shot is up and short. The ball goes out of bounds. No, it doesn't go out of bounds. It was grabbed by Les. Les Henson threw it down. That ball went in. I don't know if it's going to count.
Yes, it's going to count. There was 2 seconds on the clock. I was looking at the clock.
I don't believe it.
That ball went in the basket.
Les Henson threw that ball. He is on the floor. They're mobbing him. Look at that. He threw that ball overhand.
That's the most amazing thing. Watch this. That I've ever seen in basketball.
I have never seen anything like this. I thought the ball went out of bounds.
Watch this.
He saved it.
Look here. You know what? I think his foot might have been out of bounds.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. I have never in my life seen a shot like that.
Unbelievable. That looked like some of the shots we make on our WYTV basketball team, right, Bob?
Well, I wouldn't know, John. They always send me to the wrong gymnasium. They always send me to the wrong gymnasium. I
wonder why.
Can't understand it. Most homeowners' insurance policies only...
However, on the first half, and you can't let up now if you're Dallas. There's Preston Pearson over on the sideline. I think he just had the wind knocked out of him, don't you?
Yeah, he made sure of the catch. He gave himself up to make sure. Pulled his feet up. He didn't have to jump for it. The ball was right on.
Bowl games on CBS. The first one next Saturday at El Paso, the Sun Bowl.
We should go right there from here, but everything in due course, right?
I suppose. Christmas Day.
Nerve cross. The NFC playoff situation is rather simple right now because Chicago handled St. Louis so decisively, 42-6. The second half of the Dallas-Washington game is all important to both teams. Simply put, if Dallas wins, Washington is out, and the Chicago Bears are in the playoff, and they will be in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles next Sunday. If the Redskins hold on and beat the Cowboys, then the Chicago Bears are eliminated, and it will be the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC wildcard game next Sunday. Over in the AFC, Cleveland has fallen by the wayside. They are out of the chase for a wild card spot. The Pittsburgh Steelers have wrapped up the home field advantage for as long as they go in the AFC playoffs, but they have also lost linebacker Jack Ham for the rest of the year because of an ankle injury. Quickly now to the scoreboard and get you up to date on everything that's going on. Seattle and Oakland are tied at 17. All important now to the Oakland Raiders as they duel Denver for that final spot in the AFC playoffs. And there it is at the half. Washington 17, Dallas 14. Forget the points now. The Redskins must win this game to get into the playoffs. Philadelphia, Houston 12-10, and the story there, Earl Campbell. He did it again. His 19th touchdown rushing. That ties the great Jim Taylor's record, which of course was set with the Green Bay Packers of the Vince Lombardi era. And another game at the half as the Los Angeles Coliseum closes out its career as far as the Rams are concerned, because that team heads to Anaheim next year. 14-7, the Saints lead the Rams at the half. And there it is, 42-6. I'll have highlights of that game in just a moment. Incidentally, Walter Payton won the rushing title today. He carried 33 times for 157 yards. The great O.J. Anderson was injured after rushing 14 times for 39 yards. Tampa Bay wins the NFC Central. They will host an NFC playoff game in the semifinal round as they shut out Kansas City 3-0. We still do not know the other site, but the Buccaneers have one of them. Cincinnati downs Cleveland and thus eliminates the Browns. 16-12 was the final score there. The Pittsburgh Steelers with a bleeding Terry Bradshaw returning after the head injury. Franco Harris did it again. 21 carries, 100 yards, the 35th time in his remarkable career that he has gone over 100 yards. The New York Giants folded up late in the season. 31-7. Baltimore beats them as Landry goes 17-24 for 176 yards and a touchdown against the Giants. Atlanta beats San Francisco 31-21. And the great O.J. Simpson hangs up his football helmet. Another great player is finished. Jim Marshall of the Minnesota Vikings, not missing a single game in a 20-year pro career at the age of 41. 27-23, the Vikes lose to the Patriots. Now to Soldier Field, Chicago, and some highlights. We've told you about Simpson. We have told you about Marshall. And another great athlete may or may not have retired. Doug Buffone being introduced to the Soldier Field crowd. Certainly his last home game because the wild card team cannot host a game. And here it is, Pasarkowitz of the Cardinals being picked off by Allen Ellis as Chicago could do no wrong. And now you've got to ask yourself, why did the Bears play so badly in Detroit? Here is the remarkable Walter Payton wrapping up another rushing title, scoring one of his 3 touchdowns. Bob Parsons will punt out this time, and number 55, Buffone coming down, and he will be the last man who can spear him. Great defensive play. Look at Doug. The great old man pulling him down and perhaps saving a spot in the playoffs. Here is Jim Hart, who came in, going to Pat Tilley for the score, missed an extra point. And on the kickoff, it was Ricky Watts who comes back all the way for Chicago. He has turned in a great season after injuries wiped out the receiving corps of the Chicago Bears. So again, simply put, Washington to get in the playoffs must beat Dallas and win the NFC East. And Irv, you've got some highlights of another game.
Yeah, in Los Angeles, the Rams trailed the New Orleans Saints in the third quarter by a score of 14-7. And in the first half, running back Wendell Tyler went over 1,000 yards. Just Vince Ferragamo handing the ball off to him, and that's the yardage he needs right there, down to the 2-yard line, and Tyler goes over 1,000 yards this year. Ferragamo this time handing the ball off to Tyler, touchdown. The Rams take a 7-0 lead. Archie Manning rolling to his right, feels a great deal of pressure as he throws the ball to number 83, Tinker Owens, for a touchdown. Saints knot the game up. Manning hands the ball off here, gets to 35, Mike Strawn, who goes over on a draw play, touchdown in the third quarter. The Saints lead the Rams 14-7.
Irv, I knew that if I talked long enough, I'd make a mistake. Pittsburgh does not necessarily have the home field advantage wrapped up. I can't give Denver an automatic victory over San Diego because if the Chargers win tomorrow night, they have it. Because remember that little meeting out on the West Coast between the Steelers and the Chargers? Chargers really took care of them. So if those two teams would meet in the championship, we'll go back to San Diego. How about Philadelphia and Houston now? Should we take a look at that? One thing sure, we'll be in Philadelphia next Sunday for the wild card game. They're taking on the great Earl Campbell this afternoon down in the Astrodome. Jaworski to Spagnola. Hey, he's one of those Yaleys. Bula bula, huh? All right, Jaworski bootlegs in for the touchdown. He's had a fine year. Wilbert Montgomery, who had that long streak without fumbling, has had a couple of problems in the last 2 weekends. Greg Bingham, formerly of Purdue, jumps on it for Houston. And here it is, Earl Campbell. Let me give you his halftime stats. 17, 134 yards, 1 touchdown, 1697. His total so far. And as for the game you're watching, Washington and Dallas. Let's check in on the first half. I'll tell you, the Redskins were really ready. Jack Pardee, no matter what happens the second half, has directed a heck of a performance by this Redskin team. Heisman down the sideline to Danny Buggs, and then Theismann from a yard out, bootlegging on in for the score. It was 10-0. And how in the world did Malone beat the whole Cowboys secondary right here? This tells you something about the injury problems down there in Dallas this year. And it looked rather easy. It was 17-0, but nothing's easy against the Cowboys. Ron Springs in for the touchdown, and then it was Staubach on this sequence. His favorite target, Pearson. And that's Preston, the man he likes to use in the short punt. So it is now 17-14, and as Pat Summerall has told you, they have Too Tall Jones standing by down there in Big D. So let's go back now to Tom Brookshire and Too Tall.
And about a foot.
Some play by the running back from Mississippi State who just gets better every year when he comes to the Skins.
And bigger, it seems. He's in the game now with Riggins and Malone. Heisman is going for the punch, and he's got Harmon open. It'll be 4th down. Redskins brought a big contingent of fans. They're down, located in that end zone.
How close did it come to the hands? I couldn't tell whether Theismann took a little off or if he just missed the receiver. It looks like Harmon's going to break open.
He is open.
Got to go after that one.
And the Redskins now will settle. It would appear, at least, for a field goal by Mark Mosley. Theismann holding, don't forget that. Mosley rips it good. It's 21-20. Wow.
And 11 minutes, 24 seconds left.
And don't forget what tremendous range Mark Mosley has. He was hitting from outside 55 yards during the warm-up before the game. 21-20. Redskins have the ball at the Dallas 25. 10 minutes, 27 seconds left to play. Dallas leads by 1 point, 21-20.
Redskins are going to hang together rather than hang separately, right? They're staying together pretty tough.
That's what they've done all year. Thompson swings in motion to the left. Theismann fakes and throws deep for Thompson. Knocked away in the end zone, but a penalty marker is down. Cliff Harris was the defender.
It'll be 1st and goal as Harris, Captain Crash, got his left arm around Ricky Thompson's neck. I think the ball may have stayed up too long. Let's all look at it together. First out, Theismann really stays cool. It's Harvey Martin putting the heat on.
In the end zone, number 43. First down on the 1-yard line.
Ooh, that's close.
That is close. The right arm may have run around the throat, but the left arm or the hand made contact with the ball.
It's 1st and goal at the 1 for Washington. 24 yards. That pass interference cost Dallas. Redskins bounce right back. Riggin. Touchdown. Still standing. Never did get him down.
And look at the Washington bench on the sidelines. They are going completely bonkers. Look at Pardee. You're right, Coach. Everybody maintained their cool.
Riggins touchdown.
A power run. Malone leading the way. Blast Dennis Thurman right out of the hole.
Clarence Harmon, a key block up in front of him. Jeff Williams, also a good block. Mosley adds the extra point, and the Redskins go back in front 27-21 over Dallas. 10:18 left to play. What a contest this is. 21, the Redskins over the Cowboys with 10 minutes and 18 seconds left to play. Wade Manning is the deep man for Dallas. Mark Mosley set to kick off for Washington. He had a high, long one last time.
And a 5-second hang time on the last one. Oh, this is bigger than that one.
Does again. Manning fumbles, bobbles, and then comes out. That might have been a mistake, but maybe not. To the 20. Monty Coleman on the tackle. Don't forget, following football, 60 minutes. Here's, we told you earlier, in case you joined us in progress, a giant American chemical company was told by one of its own executives that it was slowly contaminating water wells adjoining the plant. The story on 60 Minutes is, did the company do anything about it? First down, Dallas. Doug Cosby and Billy Joe Dupree, and the Dallas offensive setup at the moment. Both are tight ends, of course. Staubach gives to run Springs, and Springs is hit after about a yard. Olkowitz on the tackle. Seattle 29-17 over Oakland.
Another big tackle by that young linebacker. Roger has got to put together an extended drive, tack up a touchdown. 2 field goals would get you a tie, and of course, if these two teams would tie after overtime, and Philadelphia would beat Houston, then the Eagles would win the championship. Is that true?
That is correct. And the Eagles would also have next week off. Staubach looking and found Billy Joe Dupree, who is hurled back by Tony Peters. Not nearly enough for a first down.
Seldom thrown to Billy Joe Dupree, and some people around the league think that this man is about as dangerous a tight end in the middle where he catches this one as anybody in the game, but he hasn't been called much for the passes.
3rd and 2 situation for Dallas, and a crucial one at that, as the clock now shows less than 9 minutes left to play. Preston Pearson and Jay Salvey both in the game. Drew Pearson and Salvey split out wide to the left, Tony Hill to the right. Back from the shotgun, the Redskins do not appear to be thinking blitz, and they don't. Staubach does not get the first down. Put his head down. Apparently thought he had a big enough hole to get it, but couldn't. Carl Lorch cut him off.
Roger having some trouble. Last series he was intercepted. This time he decides rather than take a chance, he'll run for it. Well, watch this bunch react. Closed it right off. That's Carl Lorch making the tackle, and Butts was there too.
So it's a 4th down now. Danny White comes in. 4th and 1. Bobby Hammond back deep. Well, Washington Redskins.
He has run and he has passed before, but
again, there's confusion on the Dallas special teams as to how many men they should have on the field. Danny White hits the high sparrow that Bobby Hammond will fair catch with Benny Barnes right in front of him. And the Redskins will take over after a 41-yard punt by Danny White at their own 31-yard line. 7 minutes, 52 seconds left to play. The Redskins lead by 6 points.
It's the Delco Freedom Battery Sale. What do you want from a car battery, America?
Freedom to start in the cold. Thanks, Delco.
And you? Freedom from adding water. Thanks, Delco. Then come on to the Delco Freedom Battery Sale. AC Delco is making it possible for you to save on the powerful, never-add-water Delco Freedom Battery. At participating outlets, when you see the Delco Freedom Battery Sale poster.
Thanks, Delco!
Some guys never learn. They're still taking it on the chin. Gotcha. Norelco offers the Norelco rotary razor. Not 1 or 2 blades, but 36 blades inside 3 adjustable floating heads and a unique shaving angle for a very close shave without a nick or cut. So say hello to the Norelco rotary razor and say goodbye to Gotcha.
Tonight, Archie Bunker's place falls into some hard times.
$50,000? Oh, we are not covered.
An old friendship is strained tonight.
Redskins 27, the Cowboys 21.
Turnovers, Dallas 3 turnovers. The Redskins, none.
First and 10, Washington at their own 31. That's Riggin. And Big John slants off the right side for about 3 or 4. Mike Hegman on the bottom of the pile is the first Cowboy to hit him.
Frustration now. Defense says we got to beat on some backs and make somebody cough the ball up. Malone doesn't fumble. Riggins doesn't fumble. Theismann's being very careful.
No turnover.
Hard to get it.
As you said, Riggins 17 carries, 74 yards. And they've been tough yards for Riggins. Joe Theismann has called and executed a very intelligent, aggressive game. The Redskins lead 27-21. Draw play Riggins. Trying to get outside and will and does break tackles, and Riggins might be gone. Riggins is gone. John Riggins, 66 yards. And a Redskin touchdown.
And the whole bench comes off now. The Washington team is in the Dallas end zone. The longest run of the year for Riggins. 33 yards was his longest carry.
Here is Riggins' run again.
Off the right side. Let's see what happens. Williams blocks on Dutton. Hegman's caught inside. Right there, Cliff Harris did not make the tackle. He's made $1 million in his time. He missed that one. And Thurman really makes it a run. Shows you how fast that 225-pounder is.
Riggins kept his balance, and there he is, carrying that football. Good block by Benny Malone as Mosley hits. Riggins now has 140 yards and 18 carries, and look at Joe Theismann. Think he's not happy about this situation. Washington 34, Dallas 21.
You know, words are confusing. In bowling, a strike is good. In baseball, it's terrible.
That's right.
Take the word natural as in natural light beer. It means just one thing.
56-yard touchdown run, and there he is.
They had a chance to stampede, and the Skins stayed together on the road, too.
Wade Manning again will be deep for Dallas. And again, Mosley hits one of those funny-looking kickoffs. This will be Ron Springs that returns this one, and Springs gets around the outside, but there are 3 members of the Wild Bunch to take him out of bounds. Let's look at the touchdown again.
Okay, let's take a look at it. It's the draw play that comes out of this. Saul takes on Larry Cole. Stark cuts off the middle linebacker, Brunick. Williams goes on Dutton. Hegman gets caught inside, much the way what he did against Earl Campbell early in the year on Thanksgiving, and Cliff Harris simply missed the tackle. Who was that other block there?
That other block was by Benny Malone on Benny Barnes. And Riggins took advantage of cutting back inside that. And Dallas has a first down at their own 20. And now it's the Redskins 34, Dallas 21. Staubach is going to have to throw on just about every play, and Springs is hit as soon as he catches it. That should be Lavender, shouldn't it? Wysocki is the first man out of there. CBS Sports Spectacular next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern.